Why do 80% of realtors fail in the first 3 years of being in business? And it's because they never figure out this one skill that allows them to become a successful agent. And it starts with a phrase, you need to list in order to last. I know how every new agent feels. Only 8% of my business came from listings in my first year. Where in 2022, we were able to 5 times the amount of listings that we sold and was able to finally work with more listings than I had buyers. And after watching this video, you're gonna know exactly how to get a new listing even as a new agent. And people who stick around till the end, I'm gonna share the biggest change I made in order for us to become listing agents in my market. Sales skills. So as a new agent, you're not going to be getting as many leads as experienced agents. So that means you're not going to have as many listing opportunities as them. So you need to develop your sales skills so that every opportunity can turn into a potential listing. For this, you're going to have to practice everything. And people don't love it, and that's role playing. You're going to have to practice your sales skills. You're going to have to find another agent in your market that you're able to practice your listing presentation on, practice your pre-qualifying, how to master all those common objections that can be the difference from you getting the listing to them going with the next agent. And I need people in this video who are watching that they're going to make the personal promise that they're going to become the top listers in their market, and it starts with practicing your sales skills. The next is mindset, and I'm sure every new agent feels the same way. You don't have any self-confidence going into a listing presentation, and you have like almost this imposter syndrome, feeling like you have no idea what you're going to be doing. You need to stop that thinking right now, and you need to adopt the growth mindset that, yeah, you're not the most experienced agent out there, and clients are going to ask questions that you don't have the answer for. But you must get over that, and you have to build that self-confidence within, so when you go into those appointments, you're sharp, you're able to execute on exactly what you want in order for you to get that listing. And the reason why is because this depends on how good your family's going to be eating over the next couple months. Something that you can do to help with your mindset before you go into these presentations is develop some sort of routine before you go there. You could be role playing in the car with your partner, you could be role playing before you go to the listing presentation, or just something like a song while you're driving that gets you in the zone, gets you psyched up, makes you going in there with absolute confidence so you can get the listing. Listing presentation. So you need a solid presentation that outlines exactly how you're going to get the person's home sold for top dollar. But first, when you're doing the listing presentation, the first thing you need to do before you go into the presentation is you need to qualify the decision maker and see exactly what you think they're going to be the most interested in terms of getting their home sold. A lot of times the decision maker we found is actually the female in the relationship or the person who's talking the least. So you need to be able to identify that and pre-qualify them before you actually go to the home to meet them. The second is have a standard presentation. So we have a PowerPoint that we use, but we customize it specifically to what the decision maker is going to want the most. Next, you need to decide how far out these people are. Are they a hot lead? Are they looking to sell their home and get it listed in the next 1 to 3 months? Or are they someone who's maybe 6 months away or waiting for next spring in order for you to list their home? And the reason why you want to identify this is because typically if someone is, say, more than 6 months away, we just do a one-time listing presentation where we meet them, we tell them that we're going to give them a price after, and then we follow up after that. Where if it's someone who's really hot and they're going to be wanting to sell their home in the next 3 months, we do a 2-step approach where we meet them and then we tell them we schedule a meeting in the next 2 days to go back and meet them. And I'm going to share the tip on that second meeting that allowed us to 5x the amount of listings that we sold this year. And if you don't have a listing presentation, join my free community here. I have our listing presentation in there. I have videos outlining exactly how we present it. And this is going to be a good entry point into you so you can customize and all the key points you need to highlight in there in order for you to stick out like a #1 agent. All right, so we've got our sales skills dialed in. We got a bulletproof mindset, and we have our listing presentation down. The next thing we need to do is start prospecting for listings. I see this all the time. People in their schedule, they have prospecting for buyers, they have prospecting for all these other metrics, they have all this admin work scheduled into their daily routine, but they don't actually have dedicated time to prospecting for listing leads. So this is what's typically missing from a lot of people's schedule is allocated time where, hey, in this hour, the only thing I'm doing is trying to get listings and get listing leads. The first method of prospecting for a new agent is going to be open houses. And I know your broker is going to be pounding this down your throat because they built their business on open houses back when the internet wasn't even invented. And now the truth of the matter is not as many people come to open houses as they used to. So you need to implement the triple threat approach in order to get your open houses to turn to actual listing leads. So how you do this, on Monday, you need to outline how many open houses you're going to be taking. And if this means you have to dial back the amount in order for you to perfect this strategy, so be it. Thursday, every open house that you're doing on Saturday, you want to find a listing that has the do not call list on it, so you can go out and you can cold call all the neighbors, inviting them to the open house. Then Friday afternoon, you want to get out there and you want to door knock all these neighbors' homes again. So then on Saturday, you have invited them by phone, you've invited them by person, and now they're more likely to come to the open house. But the main point on why you want to do this is, how many times have you had people come to your open house and it's such an awkward encounter because they've never heard you, they've never talked to you before, and you're just kind of like, you just have that awkward stage whenever you meet someone for the first time. But now if you've connected with them on the phone, they've seen and heard you when you knocked at their door inviting them, they're way more likely to open up to you because you're not such a cold person to them. And this way you're going to actually see their direct intentions on what they're looking to do, and this is how you can actually turn your open houses into listing leads by implementing the triple threat approach. For sale by owners, and I'm going to be the one that says this right now, I know so many people preach this, these are tough. So if you are going to get into for sale by owners, promise me that you're at least going to stick with it for a year or 6 months. Don't just do for sale by owners for one day and then you have no success and you give up. Because the reason why these people aren't using a realtor is because they have strong opinions about the industry and how much service we provide. So that's where you're going to have to be breaking down those walls. You're going to have to be dialed in with a really good script on getting and connecting with these people so you can potentially list their home. We have a really awesome script that we've used, and it has some humor, it has some other points worked in there that's a little bit different than how most people go after for sale by owners, which has allowed us to get more in-person meetings. By no means do I say, in full on transparency, I know so many people that talk about for sale by owners, they say that their script and their things works like magic. These are tough. Even with our script, we do have challenges. Full on transparency, these are really hard to convert to actual appointments. You have to hit them up over time. Now with the market cooling down, their homes can be sitting for longer. This is where you can develop that good script and you can lead into a follow-up plan, because it's probably going to take a couple touches to convert these for sale by owners to actual listing appointments, to getting it to the point where you potentially can list their home. But I'd love to hear from everyone else what they've used to have a lot of success with for sale by owners, because if you can master it, it is pretty much taking an active listing that you didn't have and putting it right into your wheelhouse. And if you're getting value from this video and you're an agent looking to level up, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be releasing my entire playbook on what I've done to level up and all the success that I've had as an agent. I'm going to be giving it to you guys for free right here on this channel. So you're going to want to stick around and see exactly all the cool things me and my team are working on to build our business. Expired listings, we refer to these as layups. So me and my team, we love these because a lot of times when a listing is expired, the person that had it listed before, they think that they did something wrong is the reason why the home didn't sell. When a lot of times it probably just came down to price. It came down to just price, which is almost always the deciding factor on if a home sells. Doesn't matter the condition in or the area, price is always the deciding factor on if it's going to get sold. So we can come in there, we can take the ball and we can go in for a nice easy layup, because their realtor has probably already been pounding it down their throat saying, hey, we need a reduction, we need to do this, we need to do that. And they've probably stayed firm just for their own sake. So if a new person is able to come in there, get in contact with them. So for you, being a new person come in there, they're way more receptive to you hearing that, hey, you're probably going to have to do a price reduction. And so it's a super easy layup that you can get in there, prove your value, get it at a discounted price that's actually going to get it sold. If you can master these, I know agents that have added 30 deals annually. This is a massive amount of commission that you're leaving on the table, and it's really easy to perfect once you get the system and you know how to go after these leads. And I highly recommend them even for experienced agents, just because now we're transitioning to a market where we have way more inventory, things are sitting longer, there's going to be way more expired listings. So this is the number one way I think people need to be going after to get new listings. So my final point, and this was the biggest change that we made with how we get listings, and it has nothing to do with all the fancy tricks and prospecting more time and making our presentation better or doing video marketing. It's simply just a psychology change on what we did. So just like we were talking about before, we have the different approaches. So if it's a lead that's more than 6 months or a year away from potentially listing, we just meet them the one-time follow-up and then set an appointment for in that 6 months time when we're coming back. But if they're a hot lead, we do the two-step approach. The first appointment is we're just kind of finding fine-tuning everything, building that connection. The second appointment, we had a total psychology change. So instead of it being the second listing appointment, what we're telling ourselves, it is a signing appointment. We have all the paperwork ready, we have everything dialed in. So when we meet with them the second time, they are signing that. They're signing that contract and they're going with us. So the best way that we go for this close is on the second listing appointment, we bring them a gift, a bottle of wine, we warm them up a little bit more, we go through the whole spiel, we agree on price, and then the final point, what we go for, the closes, this is exactly what we say. We ask them if they can trust us, and as soon as they acknowledge that they can trust us and say, yes, Russell, we trust you, we think you're going to do a really good job, then we go into our recommendation close, where we ask, hey, can I make a recommendation? And once they acknowledge you, you know you got them hooked in, because as soon as you make this type of close, it gives them the power to be way more receptive to what you're saying. And exactly what we go into is saying, it sounds like you guys trust us, and I know you're super busy people, and you got all these things to get the home ready. I got all the paperwork here. It's only going to take about 5 more minutes. Why don't we just finish signing that so you guys can get to, and this is where you really touch on the points and why they're moving. If they're a person that's relocating to Mexico, you highlight that. So we can get you to Mexico sooner. Let's just get this done today. It's only take about 5 minutes, and we finish the paperwork right there. And if they kind of hit you with some objections like, oh, dates and all that, you always mention you can fill it in later, but get that contract signed. So it's not a listing presentation, it is a signing appointment. And that was the biggest change we made in how we got more listings in 2022. The real estate market is dropping hard. Are we going to see a crash like in 2008 or potentially worse than 2008? To find out more information, you're going to want to watch this video next, where I outline everything that's happening in the real estate market.